Ooh, hey y'all. We've been busy. Let's see. It's been probably 2 weeks since I last uploaded a video. A lot has been going on, but I haven't had time to actually just record something. Having the camera around wasn't time. It was a little bit more. It is a little bit more time consuming, and we didn't have much time, so I just chose not to record anything that we did. But let's see, it was probably 2 weeks. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago was the last video I posted. I posted a video about what I was up to. I had been working on my church's VBS. That went great. We had a wonderful 4 nights of kids and trains, and it was amazing. It was definitely a blessing to put a whole bunch of work in it and see the joy on the kids' faces. I had multiple kids come up to me and say that they wish that we could have had it all week. so that's a good sign that they wanted to come back. So I really enjoyed that time with those kids. Let's see. So then that was the week before the 4th of July. That week, actually, we had gone out into the garden. I believe it was Wednesday of that week, and we noticed that every single bit of our green beans were ready to be picked. There were no more blooms. They were full. The plants were full. They were, good, sturdy, solid green beans. But we weren't able to pick them because I was just too busy that whole week. From the time I woke up, I was working on Bible school stuff. And then that evening, I would be at Bible school. So we just didn't have the time to pick them. We also had already made plans to go back home to West Virginia, where my husband and I are from, to visit family. We didn't get a chance to do that last year because of COVID, and so we went. We really wanted to make the effort to go visit family for the 4th, and so we did. We did end up cutting our. We decided we're still going to go. But we won't stay as long as we had originally planned. We had planned on staying an extra day than what we were able to stay. We ended up leaving a little bit early just so that we could get back. My husband works full time, so we have limited time on when both of us can do things together, and he had that Monday off. So we had to get back so that we could start pulling the beans and getting those canned. So we cut that trip short. We got back. We got up that morning. For 4th of July, we had a blast. We hung out with Michael's parents, and I'll insert a few clips of what we did with them. The kids, of course, had a blast, but we did a little, backwoods adventuring of, where we grew up. Seeing things that had been years since I'd been back there. So it was kind of nice to drive through and see all the growth that's happened. There's a lot more houses back there than what there used to be. So that was really, really nice to spend some time with them. And then I meant to actually get a video of my dad's garden. That's kind of where all this started for me is, my parents always had a garden. He mainly just plants potatoes now. And so I meant to get a video of that, but I was too involved with family, so I forgot and I didn't get it done. So we had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time at back home. And then the kids, they actually got to stay that week with my mom. She happened to, my sister was visiting from Florida, and she stayed up there for a week. And my mom had didn't have to work that week, and so the kids were able to stay up there with them, which is really, really good. It was hard. I had not been without my kids for over a year. With the 2020 life, they were home with me all the time. So it was we talked whenever we got home. The house felt weird. it wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same. But we're very happy that they got to stay, and then we were very happy when we got them back. But so we left early for after the 4th of July. We got home. We got up first thing on Monday morning. We had thought we had 15 rows of beans. It ended up being, we thought we had 15 rows of beans. We counted 12 whenever we were out there, but it ended up being 11 because we had two rows that weren't full rows. So we had full rows. We had 11 rows of beans. We knew we wouldn't have been able to do all the rows that we had out there. So we chose we picked 4 full rows. Got them inside and started working on them to get them canned. That night we canned 58. Yeah, I think it was 58, 56 or 58. I can't, I should have counted before I came out here. 56 or 58 quarts of beans out of those 4 rows. They were perfect beans. They were, beautiful, beautiful beans, but we knew we were running short on time, and so we knew that it was going to be, we were pushing it. We were really pushing it. We had actually not, I forgot about this. Out of the 4 rows of beans that we picked, we were actually only able to do that first night. I think there's about 3 of them. So we were only able to can 3 rows, and we had about a bushel of beans left. And so I was up till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. that morning, canning. So, and we couldn't keep going. We had to stop. And so we had that one last bushel left to work on the next day. We definitely noticed a difference in them because, of course, they set overnight. But again, they were still really good beans. That Tuesday, the hubs, he of course had to work. I worked on that batch that we had left over from Monday. Got those snapped and canned. And I believe we went out and picked 1 row that evening. We wanted to do more, or at least, we wanted to be able to get it done, because not only we knew it was going to be nearly impossible to get to it the rest of the week. We had Wednesday evening we have church. I also needed to get the tomatoes picked. I'll show you guys our little tomato truck here. maybe in the next video. You know, I have to show you what we do with our tomatoes. But we need to get the tomatoes picked because a lot of those were either A, getting eaten by squirrels and, you know, all the critters and bugs. Or B, they were, as soon as they start to turn ripe, they start to rot because of the heat. It's so hot. So I knew that's what I needed to do. I knew that's what I needed to do on Wednesday morning. So I got up Wednesday morning and got all of our tomatoes picked. And then Elsa, wonderful Elsa, came through on Thursday. So it had rained all day on Thursday. Friday we actually had gotten more rain, but we were able to get out there and pick two more rows on Friday before, during, and after the rain. There's many times that Hubs went out there Friday and picked green beans and ended up running inside because it was raining. So, but we got those done, got those canned. Saturday, we had to go pick up the kids. My sister was driving back down to Florida, and so we were able to kind of meet at a halfway point, and drove that morning a few hours away to pick them up. Got back home, took a little bit of just a little bit of a cool down, sit down break, talked with the kids, you know, talked about their, which, I mean, we had 2.5 hours of talking with them in the car, but we wanted to just kind of spend some time with them a little bit. And then we got back at it. We started picking beans again. And then Sunday, we did, let's see, so we had, I think we were able to get one row done on Saturday. We had one row on Sunday, and then finally this past Monday, we were able to pick all the beans. Now, even by that Friday, all the rain that we had on Thursday, all the rain that we had on Friday, the beans, the quality of the beans had went down considerably. So we threw away a lot of beans, just because of those, 3 or 4 days where we weren't able to get to them. They were soft, they were moldy from all the rain. So I mean, we lost a good amount. We lost a good amount there for a couple days. But we still came out with total quarts canned was 91, I believe. So we got our goal was 100. So I mean, we definitely almost reached the goal. If we would have been able to do them sooner, I believe we would have had over 100 quarts. But again, life was happening, so we weren't able to, sacrifice beans, and it's okay. We have plenty. We have plenty for our family, so we're very blessed that we were able to get that many for this year. So that was good. The tomatoes, we have probably about two. The Hub Steaks, we got about 200 pounds of tomatoes picked. That I did for, pretty quickly. Just kind of grab as many as I can and try to get it done before the sun was beating down on me. Because I did it early in the morning. So while it was shady. But as soon as that sun started coming out, I was done. So I did it, pretty fast. We went through them the other day, or the hubs went through them yesterday. There are a few. We had a few that was rot. I told him that there was some on there that there was some that I picked that was questionable. Like they had a little spot on them, so I wanted to pick them just in case that they were okay. So a few rotten ones here and there. That's fine. But that's going to be our next canning time. Is we're going to do our tomatoes. Start working on those. Another thing that we noticed is that we do have a critter getting in our corn. We had chased 4 deer out of the garden the other day. But I know we're battling squirrels, raccoons, and deer. About a quarter of our corn is currently laying down. I'd gone in there the other day and tried to see if any of it could be I was hoping it was just laid over, but it looks like it's actually all broke. From where just animals are getting in there and pulling the ears off, and we're finding them in the woods on the side over there by the chicken coop where they've pulled the ears off and they've eaten it. So we're battling that. But we're going to get in there, and that'll be, I imagine that'll be our next crop that'll be ready. After our tomatoes will be the corn. If we can keep the critters out of it. It gets frustrating whenever we were finally doing everything right with the corn. We were fertilizing it right. We were doing everything on schedule. See, last year we grew corn. It grew really, really pretty, but it never produced a good ear of corn. And that was because we weren't doing it right. We weren't fertilizing it when it needed to be fertilized. We weren't we didn't take care of it like we needed to. We didn't know. We didn't really know what we were doing. And this year we had a wonderful friend from church who told us what to do, and we were doing it, and we are doing it. We're still taking care of it because we're really hopeful that the rest of the corn will come in and be okay. But I imagine it'll probably be maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks before the rest of the corn is ready. Let's see. So the other things that have been going on, our turkeys are doing amazing. That's why I'm sitting out here on the porch watching my turkeys. They're big. They're always talking to me whenever I come out. They actually come running to the gate whenever they see me. And I love it. I love that they do that. Let's see. Well, I would actually take you guys down there if it wasn't for the snake pit of a front yard we currently have. So another thing that happened with VBS is I wasn't able to keep up the maintenance of the yard. Like I said before, my husband works full time, so I do a lot of my husband works full time, and he has pretty severe grass allergies. So anytime that he would mow the lawn, he would turn into a big puffy marshmallow and couldn't breathe. And plus so I took on that responsibility. I love doing it. I love mowing the lawn. It gives me just a little bit of a break in my day, I guess. So it's something that I enjoy. It's something that I love to do. But that week, I wasn't able to mow the lawn, and we had rain, a lot of rain. And then last week, beans were top priority, so we had to take care of the beans, and I couldn't mow the lawn because we were busy in other areas. So finally, yesterday, let's see, today's Wednesday, so Tuesday, yesterday, I was able to get the lawnmower out, and I started working on the backyard. It was doing great. It looks really good. I almost got finished and started hearing a weird noise anytime that the blade was on. I thought it was something stuck in it because the grass was really, really thick. And then the underlayer there at the bottom was a bit wet. So it was hard. It was hard to mow, and it was slow mowing. So I had to really take my time and not mow too much. So I was being very careful, watching what I was doing. But I started hearing a sound, and I thought, well, maybe something stuck. So I continued on, thinking that it would get unstuck. Didn't stop. So I got under there and looked, and there was nothing there. Even when I was kind of expecting some grass, like stuck up around the blades, because that's what happens whenever it gets wet. When it's wet, it kind of sticks inside, and there wasn't even much of that. So I'd sent a message to my husband saying, hey, can you come out and listen to this sound? It sounds funny. Didn't know, maybe I was just hearing things because I did have my headphones on. So maybe it was just because my ears, I don't know. I was just thinking I was crazy, because why would the lawnmower be making funny noises? And it wasn't maybe 10-15 minutes. No, it wasn't even 15 minutes. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes after I sent him that message, the belt popped off the mower deck. And that's happened before, but it's always been whenever something got stuck, or I've like a stick will get up in there and it'll pop that belt off. And so I was like, yeah, okay, I've got to take it over here and just pull the belt back on. I tried to do it by myself. I almost got it, but I realized I needed another hand. So I messaged him, but went back and ended up just going back inside. He was in a meeting, so I had to wait until he was done with his meeting. We got figured out how the belt needed to go back on. He got done with his meeting, come back outside, we put it back on. Everything's good. I went ahead and refueled, got the lawnmower all fueled back up, ready to go so I could finish it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do both the front and the backyard, so I was going to finish the backyard, then I was going to make a path from the front of the house to the turkey so that it would be a little more clear, because we tend to get snakes whenever the grass. This time last year, our lawnmower actually broke. We had a leak, and it burned out. We had an oil leak, and it burned out the engine, so we had to get the engine replaced. So we were out lawnmower for about a month, and of course couldn't find anybody to mow the lawn because the whole world went crazy. So we had really, really tall grass there for a while, and when I finally was able to mow, multiple snakes I'd come across. There was probably 3 copperheads in our side yard alone. So which I didn't come across any snakes when I did the backyard yesterday. So I'm hopeful that maybe there aren't any up there. But again, I don't want to risk it because I can't see through there. So I was going to make a path through there. So I get back on the lawnmower, turn it on. start the blade, the same sound, and probably a little bit worse. So I turn it back off, go get the hubs again, because I can't find anything that's wrong. I'm looking, trying to figure out what's going on. We take the little covers off the side so we can really look. I noticed that one of the little pulley round spool things that holds the belt, it looked a little weird, and it was also a little wobbly. The one on the one side looked normal, and then the other one, you could tell that there had been like some rubbing around where the bolt that was holding it down was rubbing that little disc that holds the, I don't know the names of all this stuff, but the little disc that holds the belt on had some rubbing around where that bolt was, and again, like I said, it was loose. And so I was like, I told him, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And so we looked around a little bit more. We tried to tighten that bolt, and the bolt wouldn't tighten. So we were thinking, well, maybe that's not it. But we couldn't find anything else. So we decided that we would turn it back on, really watch it and see what it was. And that's exactly what it was. We tightened, we loosened, we finally were able to we were like, okay, we're just gonna have to take it apart and look and see what it is. And somehow something got something got loose, and it just messed the whole pulley wheel thing. The circle in the center of it was no longer a circle, it was an oval. And then there was like a little gear bolt thing. It's so technical. That it sits down on. It had some wear on it, and so there was nothing for that disc to actually rest on. It was just loose and floppy. So that was it. But we were able to find the part and order it, and it's supposed to get here tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get here early tomorrow, and I can get that on there and get the rest of the grass mowed. Because like I said, our next thing coming up is going to be tomatoes, and I gotta have time to do the tomatoes. So we've been busy. We've been here. I just haven't been recording anything. Our baby chickens are still out in the chicken tractor, but they're definitely not babies anymore. They're a bit bigger now. I'm pretty sure I don't think we would have any problems with snakes with them. So we're going to put them out in the coop this week so they can get used to the bigger chickens. Turkeys, I really wish you guys could see the turkeys. They're so big. I had gone and got them their food the other week. It was actually before we left for West Virginia, and we got one bag, and I was telling the lady there at the feed store that they were going through about a bag a month, and that's what they were going through. They were going through about a bag a month, and we were able to. So, they're just trying to make sure they would be able to keep enough turkey feed in stock. Well, we get back after putting that in there, and they have doubled in size, and they almost went through that whole bag. So definitely our meat birds, the two meat birds, they're eating a lot more, but they're huge. But it's exciting. I like watching them grow. I'm excited that we're going to have turkeys forever to keep. I love their personalities are so much different than chickens. So I'm excited. I'm glad that they're growing, and I'm glad that they're healthy, and we're pretty sure we have definitely at least two females in there. So we'll be able to grow those and hatch those and have a whole bunch of little baby turkeys running around. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, we've been busy. It's a good busy, but it's a busy that never ends. We got a little bit of a break today. And the only reason I have a little bit of break today is because the lawnmower broke. So once that gets fixed, I'll be back at it. This is even just doing little bits at a time. It's a good 4 hour day just mowing grass whenever I do the front yard here. So that just means that we need to find something that can eat our grass and I don't have to mow it anymore. I need to give me a cow, or we've been talking about donkeys recently, so I don't know. We just gotta get something to eat our grass so I don't have to mow it anymore. But yeah, this is what summer season is. That's what gardening is. It's a constant. There's constantly something to do here. So if anybody's bored and they want something to do, you can come on. I'll give you something to do. We've got plenty. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, the other thing. So whenever we left for West Virginia, the kids were really wanting to pick the blueberries, and we forgot to pick the blueberries whenever before we left. And so I was given strict orders that whenever we got back home, that we could pick the blueberries for them, and that we were allowed to have one blueberry each, but the rest that we had to save for them whenever they got back. But when we got back, all the blueberries were gone. So the birds and probably squirrels and deer and all them, they got to enjoy our mini blueberries that were so ready to be picked and blue and amazing, that we were excited to get this year. So they got the blueberries, but that's okay. That'll be our next, probably our fall project, is we're going to build a little frame around it to keep the critters out. So next year we'll for sure get more blueberries than we'll know what to do with. But yeah, I think that's it. Sorry I haven't uploaded for a while. I love doing this. I love making videos, so I'm not gonna stop. But it's hard trying to find the balance of just getting things done or wanting to get things done and carrying the camera around to record everything. So, but yeah, I'm here. We're here. We're still doing all the things, more things than we've been able to seem to do. We're getting it done. It just takes us a little bit longer than if we had some extra hands. So yeah, I don't know if maybe you guys can see. Let's see. Let's probably have to turn the camera around. So it's hard to see the snake pit of grass there, but it's It's a good knee-high grass. But I wanted to go ahead and let you guys see the turkeys, even if it's from a distance. Let's see. They were just talking to me, but now they're laying down. But yeah, they're getting big and beautiful. The black and white, the black feathers are really starting to show. Hi, babies. See if they'll talk to me. No, they're hot. They're looking at me though. Alright, so that's about it. We're gonna enjoy the nice little break that we were given due to, you know, lawnmower mishaps. And, you know, I've got church this evening, so I've got to get ready for that. So I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the little break. And I was actually able to stop and do this little video, so happy to welcome the little break in our canning adventures. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. I'll try to be a little bit more constant. I don't know what we're going to get into this weekend, so maybe I'll try to record something then. All right, we'll see y'all later.